Destroy all neighbors. Now that might seem like a good idea for some. I'm sure you've had some neighbors that you wanted to destroy. Maybe some, maybe all, a few, a couple, definitely. So it sounds like a good time, but let's see what the IMDb plot says here. Struggling prog rock musician William Brown finds himself in a living nightmare when he accidentally kills Vlad. The neighbor from hell. All right, looks like he destroyed his neighbor after all. All right, so as usual at the top, this is a new one on Shudder. I'm glad I got to see this on time. I know that as I've been sharing this on Promote Horror, lots of people have been excited about this one, so we'll see if it holds up for the excitement. Definitely looks fun and looks like a good movie to start to 2024. Got that correct. Correct year this time. So we'll try to keep this fairly spoiler free. I don't know that there's, huge twists and turns here and huge mystery, but we'll try to keep it fair here. So yeah, again, this is a new one on Shudder, and a good way for them to get the year started. I know they have another good one coming soon. But yeah, lots of excitement from this one on Twitter, and they've put out some really fun posters and shots of the cast, and then I've had a little fun with that too. So definitely check out all my social media with that. Definitely in the short section as well. I've had some fun with these posters. Pretty cool stuff here. So yeah, it's story of William Brown, and yeah, he's struggling here. He's living in this kind of apartment building. He really wants to just do his music, but life is getting in his way, and particularly the neighbors are getting in his way. He's just kind of at the point where he just wants to accomplish something, and he wants to accomplish this music that he wants to put together. But there's life is just in his way. He has a girlfriend there with him, and he's trying to do his best to kind of help her out, but not really doing a good job. He's not doing a good job of a lot of things. You're gonna get introduced to a few neighbors, a little bit of a nuisance here. Some of them. There's a little old lady who apparently runs the building, and he wishes she would do more, but she basically flips it around on him, and he's almost like the handyman there, and she keeps asking him to fix things, so that's getting in his way. You're going to meet a couple other neighbors that are here and there. Some maybe seem a little more important than others. Then he goes to a job where he has it seems more like a co-partner, but he's definitely not really in charge. They are also trying to produce music for this guy who's really obnoxious and thinks that he's the best musician ever, but it's really kind of full of himself. But his partner basically does whatever the musician wants to do. So that kind of gets in his way, and the guy's not really a fan of Williams. So yeah, lots of things that are just thorn in his side, or thorns in his side. There's even a homeless man that's right outside of the studio that bothers him, and that produces some pretty funny stuff, and I'll talk about that here shortly. But yeah, so he's got lots of things going against him, lots of struggles getting in his way of making his music. But the biggest one comes when somebody who seemed like a pretty cool guy, and maybe one of the few friends of William, kind of leaves the building and leaves an apartment open, and a very interesting character called Vlad moves in, and he makes a lot of racket. He is definitely one of those neighbors you would want to destroy. Especially if you like peace and quiet, if you like more noisy chaos, whatever. For whatever reason, you probably be fine. But yeah, he is a nuisance, and he's right there making all kinds of noise so that William can't concentrate and can't do his work. So William's also not one of those guys who really wants to confront people. So he continuously is like struggling with what to do. He asks his girlfriend. He says he's gonna go over there or she's gonna go over there, and then he's like, no, don't do it. He really doesn't want confrontation. So that's another problem. So he's basically there just stuck taking all this noise and craziness. And then they talk about I won't, I'll let you guys see it so you guys can enjoy it. But let's say eventually Vlad is going to meet his girlfriend, and it's kind of one of those scenes where you have your impression that Vlad is this crazy rude person, whatever. But Vlad makes a great impression with the girlfriend, and William walks in, and they're having a good time, and she thinks he's a great guy and everything like that. But then when she's kind of not there, he's poking William, and he knows that he's bothering William, and blah blah blah. So to get to the point, eventually William is going to go to this guy's apartment, and sort of have a confrontation with him. But like I said, Vlad is a very interesting character, and the scene kind of gets out of control. The situation kind of gets out of control, and in the process, William accidentally ends up killing Vlad. So he, of course, panics. We have a panic situation here. What to do. But then it appears that Vlad might not be as dead as you would think. He ends up with his head cut off, but this head is still talking to William. So it's kind of really at this point of the film where you kind of decide, is William just gone crazy since he's killed Vlad and is kind of still seeing this? Or is there something else going on here, and Vlad has really just come back to life to be, like I said, a thorn in William's side? So, he also goes to this video on his phone where he sees this guy kind of doing a song, a YouTube video, whatever, and kind of using that to learn music, but then also get kind of life lessons. And he kind of talks about getting rid of a body. So he kind of goes to that to get rid of Vlad and how to. And that doesn't go over very well. So to kind of sum this up even quicker here, he ends up killing a couple other people as he goes here, and basically because Vlad is kind of haunting him in a way. So yeah, he does get to destroy some neighbors. I don't know about all neighbors, but some neighbors. And then in the process, knows he's probably going to go to jail, but is kind of avoiding it to a point. But all in the end, still, even though he's killed his neighbors, he still wants to produce his music. So it's a question of how is he going to be able to do that while managing this growing list of people that he's killed. So I'll kind of leave it at that. There's some other stuff going on here. But yeah, I think a lot of people wanted to see this movie, thought it was going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, it is. It is a lot of fun. Vlad is played by Alex Winter, and if you didn't know that, you probably wouldn't know that. Between the voice and the makeup and everything, you probably wouldn't know it's him unless you were told. And he just does a fabulous job of it. And, at first he's an actual person, and after that he's kind of just a head. I'm sure they have their tricks on how they pull that off. But he's funny regardless in the entire movie. He does a really great job. The entire cast really does a good job. It's a really good cast here. Um, uh, but yeah, he's definitely a star here as, a head basically, and a funny one. Um, like I said, there's a homeless guy on the street, and he does a good job too. And yeah, and I'm not gonna get too much into the conversations he has with William, but definitely a fun time there. And just some crazy homeless man on the street kind of thing, who's bothering William there. But they have a interesting interaction amongst themselves too, so that's fun. So yeah, a lot of comedy in the movie, but as you guys know, I'm blood and guts, and there's blood and guts in this movie. Even when Vlad is killed, it is a fun scene. Um, of them, kind of having this fight, and then what eventually happens. I won't get into it. I'll let you guys enjoy that. Um, but then, yeah, he's going to destroy a couple of other neighbors, and it will get kind of bloody. So it does. The film does manage to get some of that in too. So that I enjoyed that too. Not over the top blood and guts, but still enough. There's going to be neighbors that die, and it's going to be a fun time. And like I said, I think, like I said, if you've seen some of the posters, just one poster in particular, if one of the people that dies, and might not be a spoiler if you've seen the poster, but I won't say too much. But they do a fabulous job with the makeup of that person, and when that person's dead and has come back, because everybody he kills kind of comes back like Vlad to kind of haunt him in the moment there. So they do a good job when the people have passed away and then kind of have to come back looking more dead, kind of zombie-ish or ghostly, whatever you want to say. But they do a really good job with the makeup there, and have a fun time with that. And there's a little bit of a twist at the end. I don't know that it's totally unpredictable. I think that you might kind of see what's happening. I won't get too much into that. But definitely just becomes a really fun story. I think this is a good mix of comedy. It doesn't get too serious. Gives you a character that you can kind of root for. Then maybe you're like, do you really want to root for them because now they're killing everybody? But you're not going to turn on him completely. But and it's when he starts killing everybody, it's not that he's really doing it on purpose. It just kind of happens. And like I said, Vlad is ahead there, and the corner is kind of egging him on, and kind of pushes some of the things that happen. So I think for McGay in the end, it's just a really fun movie. You get a little bit of introduction at the beginning to William and his struggles, but then it gets rolling. And I think it is heavy on the comedy and good comedy. I don't think anything too like knock you off your chair, die rolling around laughing, but good enough. And then of course the blood and guts, and then that kind of hits you with the horror. So it does say comedy horror here, and that fills both of them really well. And then the strong acting on top of it. Not a lot of reviews here on IMDb, but because I think I know it was shown, I think, at least one festival, but I don't know how many people have seen this yet before it's hit Shudder. But I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this one, and it's going to be a good start to 2024 as far as horror. I don't know that it's going to be the number one, probably not, but definitely a good one. I'm not, I wasn't blown away like, oh, this is going to be the best one of the year, but definitely a solid movie, definitely a fun movie, funny, and it's got the blood and guts, and like I said, the acting is good. Alex Winter does a fantastic job as Vlad. I don't know how they would do it. They could bring this back and run it back with his character again. It would be a fun time. Jonah Ray plays William, and he does a fantastic job as that kind of just that guy that the world is going against him, and then things just spiral out of control, and with every person that's kind of killed, it's like, oh my God, what have I done, and just digging himself a bigger hole there. There's just a crazy scene at the end when he's kind of holed up in this house. I won't get into too much specifics there, But the scene when he's kind of held up in this house here at the end becomes a fun scene too. I'm not too familiar with prog rock or what that's supposed to be, but it's definitely a little weird. But I guess it just kind of fits the situation, fits the movie in the end of the day there. So yeah, I definitely recommend that you guys check this one out and have lots of fun with it. I'm gonna give it 3.5 pools out of blood, and that is out of 5. Really a good one to start. I think Night Swim, I guess, is the first technical horror movie of the year. I have not seen that, but so I've not seen that yet, so I have no idea. But for me, this is the first 2024 movie I've seen, and definitely a good one to start with. So that's 3.5 pools of blood out of 5 for Destroy All Neighbors. So horrorgory-reviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, written and video. Of course, lots of video reviews lately, so feel free to subscribe, like, and do everything that everybody wants you to do. If not, no worries, no problem. Definitely encourage you to at least swing over to the shorts section and enjoy some fun there that I've had with some stuff, especially for this movie and some of the posters there. Twitter, Facebook information down below as well. Feel free to reach out, talk about this movie, other movies, expectations for 2024 as far as horror, something you want me to review. Feel free to reach out to me there, and definitely in the comment section. Once you see this movie, feel free to comment on that and what you thought, and if there's anything else you're looking forward to in 2024, and that's a long way to go in another year here. So definitely a good start here for Shudder. And if you want to destroy your neighbors or ever wanted to see your neighbors destroyed, maybe this movie will give it a little extra smile on your face, even though maybe it didn't go as smooth as he thought. So I'll let you guys go and think about destroying your neighbors. Please, I didn't tell you to do that, so don't blame me. And I will catch you on the next review, horror fans.